It's election season,
Yeah.
and things are heating up.
Yeah.
Not just on the campaign trail either.
Right.
We've got a court case out of Georgia
Okay.
really adding fuel to the fire.
Yeah.
You know that whole debate about election integrity?
Mm-hmm.
It's a hot one. In this case,
Oh, absolutely.
I'll throw a wrench in things.
Yeah.
And get this, early voting just kicked off there today.
Wow.
Talk about timing.
Exciting. That's
It's like they planned it.
right. Wild. Yeah.
So what's the deal with this case?
So we're looking at a ruling.
Okay.
Came right out of Fulton County.
Okay.
Basically, it says election officials there, they have to
Have to what?
certify election results. Got to do it by the deadline, even if
Even if.
they think something's fishy, like fraud or mistakes.
Hold on. So they can't even delay it to look into stuff.
Nope, they can investigate later. But that certification, untouchable, got to go through.
Wow, that's huge. What's the significance of that?
So this ruling, it's clearing up a really murky area of Georgia law.
What do you mean?
Before this, it wasn't clear what an official had to do.
Like if they had concerns.
Exactly. Like, do they have to certify if they're worried? Now it's crystal clear.
Okay.
Deadlines, legal channels, those come first, even with suspicions.
It's less about being a detective and more about a smooth process.
Right on. The judge even said figuring out fraud,
Yeah.
not their job, not the county officials.
Not-
Their job's to report concerns, not stop everything based on a hunch.
So, evidence over gut feelings.
You got it.
This wasn't just some hypothetical situation. Then.
Nope, this came from a specific case.
Okay, what happened?
It all started with this Fulton County board member, Julie Adams.
Okay.
She refused to certify.
She refused? What, the whole thing?
Yeah, the results of the May presidential primary.
Wow. Why? What was her reason?
She said she needed more documentation
More documentation for what?
to make sure everything was accurate,
Interesting. So she was being extra cautious. But why is this case so important?
Well, because of who got involved.
Who?
The America First Policy Institute.
And who are they?
They're this conservative group that was
Okay.
tight with former President Trump.
Okay.
And they backed her up, supported her refusal to certify.
So now we're seeing how election law and politics get all mixed up.
Bingo. That's a whole other layer to this, doesn't it?
No kidding.
It really shows how these two worlds, they're intertwined,
Yeah.
especially lately with all the focus on election integrity.
It's a hot topic.
It really is.
So we're not just talking about one county's election anymore.
Right.
It's bigger than that.
It is.
It's about these groups, these ideologies, pushing for these challenges.
Exactly.
It makes you think about the ripple effects,
Definitely.
especially with all the attention on election integrity these days.
Yeah, you've hit on something there.
It's like this case.
Mhm.
It shows this tension we see everywhere between individual worries about elections and like needing a clear process.
100%.
And speaking of nationwide trends,
Yeah.
can't forget about hand counting ballots, right?
Yay.
Georgia's been in the news.
Yeah.
Lawsuits about that new rule
Oh, yeah.
requiring them. I mean,
I've been following that.
what's the deal with that? And how does it connect to this whole certification thing?
Okay, so there are actually a few lawsuits about that hand counting rule.
Okay.
Some people are saying it's essential for security.
Okay.
Others are saying it's like a logistical mess.
Yeah, I could see that.
Could even lead to more mistakes, they're saying.
Huh. Interesting. And this is where that Fulton County ruling comes in.
Exactly. Think about it. The
Yeah.
judge, right, he emphasized following the rules
Right.
and having solid evidence before starting anything.
Mm-hmm.
That logic applies to this hand counting debate, too.
So you're saying someone could argue that pushing for a hand count without real proof of problems, that goes against what the judge said.
Exactly. It's about what justifies changing how we run elections.
Interesting.
Is suspicion enough? Or do you need proof the system's broken?
That's a big question.
It is. It's complicated, and this ruling could have some serious consequences.
It's like a domino effect.
Right.
This ruling in Fulton County,
Yeah.
it sets a precedent.
Yeah.
Could change how other election stuff is decided.
Absolutely. It highlights how important legal precedents are.
Totally.
One ruling can snowball, change how the law is used later on.
This is like that saying, what happens in Vegas?
Doesn't stay in Vegas. Is that what you're thinking?
Bingo. With election law, what happens in Georgia, it doesn't stay put.
Nope.
Especially with everyone watching, rulings in one state, they matter everywhere.
They do. It's all connected. This Georgia case shows us something important.
What's that?
Election law.
Right.
It's not set in stone. It's changing constantly.
Wow.
New challenges, technology, politics, it's all shifting all the time.
So what we're seeing in Georgia It's like a mini version of the big fight over elections we see everywhere.
It really is like a little microcosm.
Yeah, exactly. And it makes me wonder, with all these different state laws about elections,
Yeah,
are we going to end up with a totally messy system?
it's a good question.
Like, could a fair election in one state look totally different in another?
That's the million-dollar question, right?
It's a lot for voters to keep up with.
It really is, and for officials, too.
It's overwhelming.
Yeah, you really got to stay informed these days.
No kidding, more than ever.
Knowing the candidates, that's not enough anymore.
Right. So what should people keep in mind, especially now with the election coming up?
First thing, remember, election law. Always changing. What's normal today could be gone tomorrow.
So stay informed.
Exactly, especially about your own state.
And what about that idea of gut feelings versus, like, official procedures?
Ah, good point. This Georgia case, it shows how important it is to have solid evidence.
Right, not just suspicions.
Exactly. Got to have proof, not just speculation.
So if something feels wrong, don't stay silent.
Right. Speak up. But do it the right way.
Through the proper channels, right?
Absolutely. Being informed, being involved, that's how we protect our elections.
Well said. A deep dive into election law, straight from the heart of Georgia. This fight for fair elections, it's a marathon, not a sprint, right? Until next time, stay curious, stay informed, and we'll see you at the polls.